Lives of our Saints. On the 30th of July, our church celebrates the feast day of St Julitta. The following are some thoughts on her life and works. While still comparatively young, Julitta found herself sole heiress to a fortune which was comprised largely of land holdings with ill-defined boundaries and herds that roamed far and wide under the care of countless slaves. The overseer could keep accurate account of the granaries and storehouses, but a head count of stock would have been equivalent to taking a census, so vast and scattered were the flocks. It was the lack of exact boundaries, usually maintained on an honour system, which was to afford her enemies the opportunity to take unfair advantage of this woman of God. Dedicating all her efforts to the development of the church, Julitta's only active role in the estate was to ensure that the slaves, who could not be freed without arousing suspicion, were treated like other employees and were secretly paid for their efforts. Aside from that, she cared little for the estate, except to see that the proceeds were directed to the church and to the care of the needy. The neighbouring landowners began gradually to encroach upon the territory that had been in Julitta's family for years. Others were motivated to proclaim squatters' rights, so that in due time Julitta found her little empire to be illegally overrun by pagans. Their envy of her holdings and her Christian piety was intensified by the fact that her earnings were given over to the poor and to her Christian church. She soon found herself driven to bring suit lest her entire estate be devoured by these pagans. Before the magistrate was paraded an array of witnesses, all of whom bore false testimony against Julitta in an effort to discredit her. Given a set of circumstances such as those invented by her neighbours, a Christian's property might be held for forfeit. To the surprise of the presiding magistrate, Julitta professed that her only regret was that the church and the poor would be deprived of the financial assistance. But she also professed that the Lord would not forsake them. She declared that the forfeiting of her property would be equivalent to sealing their own fate, since the Spirit of Christ would prevail over their lifeless spiritual idols. She reasserted her faith in God and urged them to come into Christ's fold before it was too late. She held sway for several minutes until finally one of the pagans demanded that she be silenced. The Roman magistrate was not moved by Julitta's impassioned pleas in the name of Christ. On the contrary, he considered her exhortation to be an insult to the gods, and without delay he ordered her to be put to death. History relates that the pagans cast her into a fiery pit. Julitta gave her life for Christ on July the 30th.